but that guy is telling you to bring your friend home and he can do you and you can do your friend. I think we are subconsciously influenced by that. My parents have never slut shamed me. My dad got to know about it. My mom got to know about it.
Is it appropriate for me to ask you how many partners you had after contracting the disease?
I went to a doctor just for consultation, a lady doctor. And when I told her about my history, and I asked her, what am I supposed to do to make sure I'm not spreading this? She laughed. So when you are having this dating life, next time when you date somebody, that person will also have it. He will also have to go through the same treatment. And I was asking her repeatedly, I don't want that to happen. I would say that having vibrators would be a blessing than just going fucking around, because your body is very precious. Don't give it to any random person who wouldn't appreciate it.
Welcome to Dint News, Democratize Your Nation today. Today we are talking about a very serious topic which is regarding the hookup culture amongst youngsters. I won't call myself young, but yes, younger than a lot of people. So there's a lot of dangers which relates to this hookup culture, and today we have a very important guest whose name is Pooja. She's here to share her experiences about this hookup culture and how it has affected her life. The problem today we face is that there's a huge generational gap between our parents and us, and that's why we aren't able to talk about some taboo stuff with them, which is very important to have an open conversation, because when going into the open world, we are not aware of the dangers and the pitfalls which is associated with this culture. And we know that sex is very important, and especially in this fast paced day and age. So, without wasting much time, I'll introduce Pooja. Pooja, thank you for coming to this podcast. You'll be exposing a lot of things and talking about your life to our audience. So, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me here, Shobhon. I remember that you're the first one I shared my experience with because I was too ashamed to talk about it with anybody. My close friends who visited me in the hospital, they are not in touch with me. So that was one of the consequences.
Let me mention to our audience is that through this hookup culture, like nowadays we have multiple partners, maybe 20, 30, 40, like whatever the numbers are. And the youngsters just want sex. And that is quite detrimental to the society. And as you can say, like as you have assumed, that Pooja has faced a lot of hardship through this, and she didn't know, but she contracted some sort of STD. Are you comfortable talking about the type of STD you've got?
It was more of STI, but I mean, it's nothing like AIDS, but still, sexually transmitted infections are nasty. So, anybody who contracts it and doesn't go to the doctor at the right time, because I was thinking it was UTI, symptoms were quite similar. But then, when I contacted the doctors through apps like Practo, where they just ask you about the symptoms and give you medicines, because I didn't go to a doctor and talk about this. And I was not hooking up, to be honest. I was dating someone. And I thought he was dating me exclusively. I was dating him exclusively. But then he was not. And then when I understood that the medicines were aggravating my condition, um, that was not UTI because boils were coming up. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do simple things like peeing, and I had to be rushed to a hospital. I used to stay with my sister. My sister got so worried that she called my mom because I just passed out of pain. And my mom came and she told me this was not an infection. This was something more than that, which the doctors could help with. So when I was rushed to the hospital, the doctors saw and they said it was an STI, HSV2.
Will it be appropriate for me to say this that you had multiple partners in your lifetime since you were adults? And did you even think of this, or like something like this might happen at some point of time?
See, when we start dating, we want to explore. So when you say multiple partners, yes, I had partners more than like I have dated people three, four, five, or maybe more than that. But every time I dated, I have been careful, except when in love. I think I fell for this guy, so I assumed it would be safe to not be safe while being with him. And it costed me heavily.
So do you regret your decision of not using protection with some guy?
I do, but then this can be transmitted through kissing also. If you do your research, if someone is actively having certain infections, sexually transmitted infections, then it can be passed on even when you're using protection. When you're kissing,
You never assume that he might be having other partners apart from you, and it was him who gave it to you. Has he got in contact with you again by any chance?
this happened 2 years ago. And when this happened, I called him. I was freaking out. He visited me in the hospital twice or thrice, and I was infuriated. I misbehaved. What else could you expect? Because he was blaming me. He was saying that somebody else must have given me, and then he was doing his own photo shoots. He claimed to be a model and actor, but I never really saw his acting. I don't know what he is. He often used to travel to Dubai and Mumbai, and I've seen him with multiple girls who he said were friends. So I doubted that he was loyal. But then certain people don't really realize when they have this. It's asymptomatic. So in his case, maybe he was asymptomatic. He did not know. So he contacted me recently to apologize because somehow it stays within you that you abandoned somebody when that person needed you, and that suffering was because of him. So he said, whatever happened, I'm sorry for that. It was not intentional. However, the pain I've been through, I don't think anyone can make it less with words, sorries, or anything. Now I'm much more careful. I'm not really dating casually or doing anything that can be unsafe.
Sorry to cut you out. I just want you to like. I understand like what you've gone through. I don't understand actually, but it must be very traumatizing to face something like that. But what are your views on this like fast hookup culture, which especially people in Calcutta or like people in India are facing today? Because lust is something very difficult to control, from my personal experience, and the availability of easy sex for most people like us. There is nothing stopping us from exploring ourselves into this culture. So, what do you think about that?
If you see the Gen Z, they are much more unapologetic than us. I don't remember being so upfront with my mom. My sister is Gen Z. She's like 9 years younger to me. I've seen her friends and her friends confronting their moms saying, so what? This is my age to have fun. They are much more into this culture, which is like way beyond my experience or imagination. Never really explored to the point of orgies or threesomes. I can't really think of that. I'm a bit of a romantic by heart. But if you see the music and the whatever people are promoting nowadays, hip hop culture, pop culture, people talk about exploring and they make it cool. Even you hear a music that sounds like a sophisticated song, but that guy is telling you to bring your friend home and he can do you and you can do your friend. I think we are subconsciously influenced by that.
So yes, given an option, like if you had these conversations like your sister has with your parents, uh, would you have been a bit more careful or a bit more, knowledgeable about making yourself available for these random, I won't say random because you're saying that he was your boyfriend, but at least be aware of the dangers which is lurking?
I won't lie to you, my mom has been like a friend to me and she has always warned me about these things. But I just thought nothing will happen to me because I am safe. I'm just seeing someone exclusively. He seemed healthy. He was traveling internationally. So I thought his health checkups and everything were up to date and he was fine. I was fine. Assumptions got me into that path. And I don't think anyone should be that confident because STD, STI can just happen to anyone. You see, the Hollywood celebrities, are they any less privileged? No, but they suffer equally.
So I want to share one of my experiences. So I had a girlfriend, and she had me tested before we got intimate. And at that point of time, I was very apprehensive, and I was thinking, what the fuck was going on? But actually, like, if you see the wider context, I think that was right, and I think everyone should do that, like, from time to time, at least not as a validation or anything like that, just to check up on yourself. Like, since we are living this kind of lifestyle, what do you think about that?
I think everyone should go for these tests probably after every 3 months or 4 months. If you are dating casually, and also if you have a partner, just be sure that your partner is loyal. How to be sure? Just keep getting tested after every 6 months or a year, if not 3 months. But do get tested. And in case of any discomfort or symptoms, immediately visit the doctor because I don't feel virtual doctor consultation helps in this case. In my case, it got aggravated to the point of me getting hospitalized for straight 3 days.
So, for the audience, I just want to mention that sometimes the symptoms take a while to show. So, it's not like you contract it and, like, after that day, like, you get to know that you have an STI or STD. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 months or maybe 6 months. And there have been cases where symptoms have cropped up after a year. So, how long has it taken for you to show your symptoms, Pooja?
See, I was dating him for 7 or 8 months. Nothing happened to me like that. And he went Dubai and then he went to Mumbai. So I think right after that, when we met, I contracted. So it took 2 weeks to show the symptoms. In fact, from the next day, I was feeling little uncomfortable, but the discomfort just kept on increasing.
How has it changed your life? Like, what were you doing before, and what are you not doing right now, which were you would probably be doing before you had contracted this STI?
Um, I got so scared of having sex that I would say my friendships grew deeper. I found a new set of friends who were completely accepting and nice to me. I joined salsa class to take my mind off all these problems. I did a lot of things. I joined the gym. So it impacted me in a positive way because I wanted to bring positive changes in my life. I wanted to be so occupied that I did not feel the need to get intimate with somebody, and it worked fine for me. We still go clubbing and guys approach, but I don't feel like responding. I am still very scared.
That was my next question, because like when guys approach, guys will be approaching you in general. For like, stats show that, like, for every girl there's like 20 guys on the list. I don't know if it's true or not, but obviously, like, when you go out with your friends, guys will be approaching. So what's your approach in that case? Maybe you like someone or you want to date someone. Do you disclose all these things to him before dating?
So I am more picky now because I don't feel like telling my story to everyone, and people don't understand half of the things. So I have to literally spell it out completely. If I say I had this, that person will go like, "What was that? How?" So it's going to happen to me also. I can't exactly explain all the time that unless I am actively having that infection, you won't have it, and there's no guarantee.
It is your responsibility at this moment not to spread it further, because there's high probability that whomever you're dating, that person will date someone else again. So there's no guarantee that that person will stick. Like for me, if I'm dating someone with a STI or an STD, uh, that will be a long term commitment for me, because I know that after having sex with that person, I won't be able to do it with anyone else. So that will be a long term commitment. So do you see this kind of dynamic with your partners?
Well, I anyway feel too old to go for hookups nowadays. I do want a long term partner and commitment. So I just see one partner for me who will accept me the way I am. I don't need to explore. I've explored enough, suffered enough, enjoyed enough. So whoever dates me now will get to know about my story. And to get to that point of sleeping, he has to be patient.
Also, I'd like to know get into the psyche of the guys who approach you. So, do they really care that you have an STD, or he might contract that STD, or it isn't in their mind? They're like, fuck it, I'll just fuck this girl and then move on. Like, do you see any kind of dynamics going in their head?
It scares me so much when I see the guys are not interested. Even I shared my report with somebody after I when I thought that I am ready to date somebody, and we went out on 4 5 dates. I shared my reports with him, the current reports, and he just said he did not know what it meant. I asked him to Google. We never had any conversation about it anymore because he was least interested in my past suffering or journey, and every time I tried to tell him about it, he was not interested. So I also got interested in him.
So it is a risk. Like at the end of the day, you're saying that if the pores don't open up, uh, there's less chances of you spreading it. But at the end of the day, it is a risk, and not just a risk. Whatever is done for you. I mean, for the guy. If he doesn't care, that's fine. But again, like you're getting a third party uh, into the zone again, because that guy will probably go and sleep with someone else, and it might spread. It might not, but it might spread. So do you think people should be more aware of stuff like these?
See, I'll tell you what, when I contracted it, I did my own research, and I know the medicines that I'm supposed to take that will at least ensure, say, 90% that I'm not spreading it. So if I have to go close to somebody, I would take those pills. Those are basically non-allergic kind of pills because this is a skin infection. I went to a doctor just for consultation, a lady doctor. And when I told her about my history, and I asked her, what am I supposed to do to make sure I'm not spreading this? She laughed. And she was laughing at me in such a way that was making me feel very uncomfortable because she was not being kind to me and she was not acting like a doctor. I told my friend about it, how bad I felt. I just walked out because she was just laughing and she was like, so when you are having this dating life, next time when you date somebody, that person will also have it. He will also have to go through the same treatment. And I was asking her repeatedly, I don't want that to happen. I don't want him to have this. So what should I do? And she was like, I don't know. So I told her that, see, I've seen certain YouTube videos and I know there are certain medicines that you can take to prevent it, to prevent the chance of spreading that infection. She said, I don't know. So, and she was a senior lady doctor, a gynecologist. And the way she was laughing, and she called some friend of hers in front of me to just describe that, have you ever heard of this kind of any medicine? Because I don't know. And they were making fun of me. And both of them were having fun about my sex life. So I stormed out, and she couldn't give me any solution. She just gave me more depression. And At least YouTube videos are educational. I don't know how many doctors are friendly here, but she was not, because it was a taboo. It was all over her face.
We are not that advanced as Indians, as a society. And you're saying that you have faced a lot of flack from not only the doctors. We don't care about the doctors, but you said that you've lost friends too. So how has this impacted your life?
See, I had two very close friends since college days. One of them is an engineer, another one has a master's or something. The reason I'm saying about the degrees is because the logic they gave me was not really suiting their qualification. One of them said that she doesn't want to meet me again because she has got old parents at her house, and if she breathes the same air as me, then she might contract it.
So
Till
has
date,
she done some kind of research that this will happen?
I did, and she said that she doesn't want to take any risk because she loves her parents. She was not ready to listen to me that this is a sexually transmitted infection, and she doesn't have to share a straw with me also. Meeting me face to face will not impact her, but she was not ready to believe it. And till
So
date,
just
we
to
haven't met. It's been so long,
so,
we are no more friends.
just to clarify to our viewers, it's not about grilling Pooja or anything like that. A lot of people might be facing what Pooja is facing, and maybe are not strong enough to withstand all these trauma or these societal perspectives that she is subject to. It's very challenging, and that's why we have Pooja today. How do you deal with this thing? Like, how have you come out from there? And like, you're glowing, you're doing well today, you're doing well at work. It has been a journey for you, and I would like you to explain this journey, how you came out.
See, I was very lucky to have a supportive mom because my mom was there by me no matter what. My sister was there by me no matter what. And every time I felt bad about myself, I felt ashamed, they were there because they knew the kind of feelings I had for the person who gave it to me. It was genuinely love, and I got betrayed. I think that was the first time I got my heart broken, and at the same time got that kind of physical pain. So I was confused on what to focus, my heartbreak or the physical pain. And I focused more on myself, I would say. I loved my own company. I started painting, meditating, focusing more and more on myself helped me. And also, I got a new friend circle who are more accepting. And I don't have to pretend. I can be my authentic self in front of them. And family and friends, they have helped me to overcome this.
So it is clear that it is very important to have supporting family members if something like this happens. And
Yes.
from your conversation, it is also clear that you have to have an open conversation with your family of what you're going through so that they can support you. A lot of people don't have this conversation because they are afraid, maybe.
My parents have never slut shamed me. My dad got to know about it. My mom got to know about it. And my sister knows, her boyfriend knows. They have never made me feel like I've done some kind of crime. They just asked me to be more careful, and I am careful. I'm not going out seeking for external validation or just falling in love with the wrong person. And I would say I was not in love with myself, so I fell in love with all the wrong kinds of people. And I'm glad in a way that I got to know who my real friends were, because now my circle is tight, and I think we are going to be friends for life.
Is it appropriate for me to ask you how many partners you had after contracting the disease?
After contracting the disease, I dated someone. I shared my report with that person, but I didn't explain because I was just too tired to explain, and also things did not work out with him because he was very different from me. And after that, I'm with my first boyfriend, and I know about his medical history, which is clean. He knows about mine. I'm not exploring. I don't want to explore. I'm fine like this. And even if I don't have a partner, I'll be fine. Like I said, I've got my dance classes, I've got other things to do, upskilling, and there's no end to learning. I would learn a new language, I would learn new things, I would have fun in life in other ways. Sex is not the only way to have fun.
Like, even if you are in a position where you're going to get intimate with the person, is it all right for me to say that you won't make the mistake of not using any kind of protection from now on?
Yes, I won't. And I told you that even a kiss can give you an STI. So I won't even kiss someone randomly now. I won't.
So the chances of contracting an STI from a case is remote because of the nature of your STI. But there are some instances where people get it in their mouths, and I've heard someone get it from the dentist. So you have no control over that.
Herpes is very common. It's like a skin infection. But yes, when you have it in the genitals, it's very painful. It's very painful anywhere, but you imagine having it on your genital, you won't be able to go to washroom properly. It's going to create a different level of discomfort because just going to the washroom will be a nightmare.
So standing here today, what advice would you give to your version of like your 18-year-old self?
I would ask myself to explore my other sides than explore outside because I feel I've wasted my time so much on others that I could have achieved a lot of things back then that I did not. I focused on the wrong people, wrong things. 18-year-old self would focus more on herself, and right now she would have achieved so many things that are right now on my mood board.
Rather than having sex. So
Having
yeah,
sex is not wrong. I would gift myself a vibrator. I don't know when I was 18 in India if we had vibrators or not. And now I have. But I would say that having vibrators would be a blessing than just going fucking around because your body is very precious. Don't give it to any random person who wouldn't appreciate it for you. Any kind of risk, be it STD, STI, pregnancy, just don't randomly sleep because that hurts. When you see the other person not giving a shit and just moving on with the next girl while you're suffering, that
and
breaks your
spreading it
heart.
around
And
again. Spreading it around.
yes, yes, that's there. They don't care.
Yeah. So thank you, Pooja, for being so brave and opening up, because this conversation was needed for a lot of people, and a lot of people would be watching this and taking in all the positive points from your experience. And for the audience, Pooja will be coming back every week with us, especially talking about lifestyle. So we never had a podcast about lifestyle. This is the first time we are having on taboo subjects, and we'll be exploring all these subjects because we think that it is very important for the audience to understand what it means and how to conduct themselves in society, because it's a fast paced world and everything is changing so fast. Do you agree with me, Pooja?
I do, and I think you and I we have explored enough to talk about these kind of things. People would know what
Let's
not to do.
let's not talk about me. It's about you today. Maybe next episode it might be about me. So thank you, Pooja. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. And for the viewers, thank you for watching Dint News, Democratize Your Nation today. Please do subscribe, like, and share the video as much as possible. And whatever opinions you have, please pin down in the comments because the conversation is very important for topics like these. And if you comment, then we'll also have some kind of motivation of serving you more such videos. Thank you for watching.